2024.
That's wild. Seriously. I'm like,
2024, man. Not too long ago, people were freaking out in the year 2000, that every computer was going to turn into an Android and take over people's brains, like, Neuralink and everything now. And now we're here in 24 years later, and everybody thinks the same thing.
did you just check out the new HBO Throwback?
No, I haven't checked it out. Is it good?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I haven't seen it either. I just meant they just released a documentary on Y2K, like, I think in the last week or so. So it's just super fitting timing.
I watched the movie Leave the World Behind.
Oh, yep, I saw it.
That was a pretty. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. It had me thinking. I was like, the Teslas, self-driving Teslas, started, doing their thing, and I'm not gonna ruin it for people and stuff like that happen to not watch the movie. But it is one of those movies that make you think, which is the best form of art, as they say. It's crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's one of those movies that makes you think, and you absolutely have to look into it, to check it out, because, like, if you haven't seen it, it's just so many. It's like Black Mirror-esque at times,
Yeah, and it plays well on, like, the psychological things, on whether how people interact with people, like what would you do in this situation if this happened to you, and like the whole end of the world concept. And especially I like the modern day end of the world ones, like when like things are like everything's like normal and then everything like just goes to like complete shit. Like it really makes you sit there and think like, okay, yeah, I'm in my cushy situation, but if there was a world blackout, like what would I do?
Right. Did
I don't
you
know.
watch Don't Look Up or
Yep. That every time I do that, every time I try to think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Let me look up and see what's in the sky, because especially like when I'm walking the dogs, I'm like, let me look up just in case there's something going on.
Did you ever see Moonfall?
I haven't seen Moonfall.
Yeah, I thought Moonfall was another one that's in the same vein as like Don't Look Up and what was the end of the world one we just talked about?
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind. Yeah. They're very much in the same, like, kind of the same veins as it. Moonfall was basically moons crashing into the earth.
That'd be nuts. Just imagine looking up into the sky and like you just seen like something, just a planet just crash. There's literally and that's sometimes like I've been reading the book. It's 365 daily laws or something like that, by like Robert Greene. Basically, it's like all his books like put into like one big compilation. And so like I read in the morning. And so it was talking about the whole sublime concept, and it's like how like the world's way bigger than you can like conceive, and this whole thing. And it was like, you don't really realize it until you're like in those moments where you realize how small you are. Like, just imagine like looking up one day, and then like just imagine you're on your phone and you're taking your dog out, and then like you like look up, and then all of a sudden like a planet is like hitting the moon, and there's nothing you can do, like there's nothing you can say. It's like, and then like just imagine you like coming inside and be like, hey Maddie, like a planet just hit the moon. Everybody's gonna look at you like, shut up.
What? Yeah.
Whatever. And that's the don't look up concept, is like most people would not believe you if you sat here and was like, there's gonna be a worldwide blackout here in 3 weeks. We're in such a crazy apocalyptic world that nobody would believe somebody, even if it was true.
I know, 100%. I mean, like, we've been telling people about Web3 and crypto for years now, and like, it obviously isn't an overnight threat or like thing, but like with AI the way it is, it's like, oh my God, guys, how do you think you're going to protect your data from AI? What do you think does that?
Exactly. Like, what are you going to do? Perfect example, like what you said. What are you going to do when your password is the same? I was just doing a little video on this. Your password is the same across all platforms. And a hacker with good enough AI figures out your one password and decides, let me just have this AI just sweep it through the rest of them.
Yep.
And it unlocks every single thing that you have. Now what? Like,
Yeah.
you're literally screwed. And that's the thing. It's just like people think that like you can just get by just being like, oh yeah, I don't have to pay attention to it. It's not that big of a deal. It's like you're gonna get into a point where it's like you have no choice.
Sure.
Especially with tech.
Well, and that this is where like the whole self-custody concept really comes into like friction with reality on many levels for me. Is
Yeah.
like crypto is an even more extreme version of that because it forces one password everywhere, basically. You know, like if we do smart wallet digital identity, you know, your one login for everywhere, all your data in one container. Well, it means basically you get hacked once everything's gone, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just as vulnerable, if not more so, because you know you might use a few different passwords today, right?
Yeah.
So AI can go grab all the accounts that you've used the password with, but not all your accounts use the same password. With crypto, that might kind of be the case, but that's obviously where multi-sig comes in, and that there'll probably be a multi-sig solution to prevent people from doing that.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I was figuring that like multi-sig's the solution regardless, because I think people are going to end up hiring like digital asset security managers in a way, and it's going to basically be
That's a
like
great
something
occupation.
between a community local bank and Geek Squad.
Yeah. Like it would be like cybersecurity. It's like because this is where I see things going, and I'd piggyback right off of what you're saying. Is just like there's gonna be that class of cybersecurity that's gonna be basically like almost like the Black Ops. To where like you have to be able to manage, like you have to literally be like for instance, multi-sig. So now I get, for instance, an agency that anytime I want to move money from this specific account, I'll approve and I'll sign normally, but they have to also approve on their end as well. So then
Yeah.
now they're the trusted third party in this two-party agreement, but without my approval, it can't go through. So then
Right.
now it's like their security has to be that much fine-tuned, because maybe it throws into, like what you were saying, a double blind effect. So maybe they have one answer, but then now it splits into two. I don't know. It can go into all these different type of things, but it really just
Yeah.
depends on how paranoid the person is and how much you want to, save your stuff. For real. It's like
For
just like
sure.
James Bond
But
movies.
100%. But I also think it's a little bit like how Coinbase is today. Like Coinbase has an app that everyone trusts and uses, but Coinbase owns your keys. I
Yeah.
just kind of think that like the people who you'll want to own your keys will be more local rather
Yeah.
than like this big central company far away. Only
Yeah.
because we've seen how those big Ponzi's fall in on themselves. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I want a software engineer, security expert I can go talk to nearby, so I
Yeah.
can feel safe about my crypto assets. But basically, they're going to be sitting in like a room reviewing all the transactions that you're signing and making sure your wallet doesn't get drained. And
Yep.
like that's a very valuable job. And like
Anytime it
they're
gets
kind of
drained, automatic alert.
right, and it's more so like they'll probably have insurance funds to help reimburse people in the instances that happens, and all kinds of stuff like that. I'd imagine.
So basically, it sounds like, and maybe this is something we throw into the ChatGPT bot today. Sounds like almost like a cybersecurity life insurance, essentially, for your money and your crypto. Because I mean, more or less, you want a firm or agency to mitigate the risk for you and your digital assets. And
Mm-hmm.
so in this case, it's like, hey, we know that most people, and me and you both know this, most people won't own their keys. Most people won't fully own their keys because
Right.
to bear the full responsibility of actually, if you fuck up, like everything being on you, most people can't handle that responsibility.
Right. It's
Like,
huge. It's potentially so expensive to fuck that up.
yeah,
There
it's
was
like,
a founder that literally today who was making a super secure smart wallet. I forget what it's called, but he was using his MetaMask and lost $125,000 to a wallet drain. Took that
What?
much stable coin.
What?
Yep. Funded founder, venture-backed founder, drained 125K. Boom.
And see, and I'm assuming he's Web3 savvy, correct?
Yeah, he's literally building a wallet that's supposed to prevent this from happening. That
You see what I'm saying?
uses AI to read smart contracts to prevent wallet draining.
And see, and that's basically, it sounds like, because, and that's for us right now where we're at, it's like, even people that are well versed in the space, the technology is far superior to your human intellect. And when somebody is really predicated on getting your funds or whatever it is, it can really do it, because of the open source side of things. I can see almost every single like vulnerability if I really want to get into it.
Mm-hmm. And it's really just like, at the end of the day, all that's really happening, right?
Yeah.
Is they're like socially manipulating us. Like, that's what most hacking is these days, social manipulation.
Yep. Now all they do is like, they'll send you something with the little E, maybe the E is just a tiny bit smaller, and then that's it. Not like
fake
perfectly. And now with AI, you're getting to the point, and this is why, again, people have to get, you don't really have a choice. It, like, every day that you wake up is literally like war. Though the difference is that instead of people like trying to like kill you, they're just sending you ads, or trying to, like what you said, manipulate you or persuade you or sell you something, or get you to come here, or come stay here, or do this, or that's what war has. It's become psychological warfare, because if I can program you to do the same thing over and over and over, I might as well be God to you, to be honest.
I'm trying to see if I've gotten hit with any of these.
Don't click
recently.
it on it. Don't click on it.
Oh, I was going to show how to like look and identify they're scamming.
Yeah, they try. And they're really starting to pop off on the calls. This is why I say, I think the first company, whoever makes the transition, that's why I think Solana is making the moves to be that Apple-esque type business, is because they have the Solana mobile phone, and because everybody does everything on their phone, them having an actual hardware device, and if they can make the moves to where I won't get spam calls because of the simple fact that you don't have access to my digital wallet, I would love that compared to whatever stuff. Because right now I'm getting blasted with spam calls all the time.
Same. No, constantly.
So if I had a phone that was linked to my crypto wallet, and then to be able to call me, you had to have my address. And you just basically just call my crypto. Ooh, maybe this is we over here thinking of stuff, man. Look, maybe we think about a crypto cell phone business or something. Sell it to T-Mobile. T-Mobile, if you're listening, we got something for you. We trying to go decentralized on because then we can pitch it to Helium. Shout out to Helium on the Solana. Solana's going crazy. I checked on my NFTs the other day, bro. I was dead in the water before, bro. My bags have gone up 8x.
We're gonna have to talk about that 1 second. I was just gonna tell you, Solana is already ahead of the game here. This is the Solana phone, the Saga. This is their iPhone. It's basically an Android phone, but it's got a native Solana-based operating system on top of the Android operating system, with a handful of dApps and a built-in physical wallet that is kind of doing some of the things you're saying already, or probably will soon enough. But it's coming with Helium and the T-Mobile deal. But even specifically, it's coming with Bonk, and these phones I think were selling for like $1,200. But with the amount of Bonk that was on them, they were worth $1,600 or $2,000. So people were buying multiple of these phones to collect basically the bonk on them.
That's crazy, dog.
And
that's the day. This might, like, because think about it, like, and most people, The smart thing would be is like if I had the connections at a phone company, I'd be like, oh, well, I would just do the same thing, come out with a phone, come out, do a partnership with a crypto project that's up and coming, and then be like, hey, we're going to do an airdrop to whoever buys this phone. Every single business can do that. Every single business. But the thing is that most of these businesses won't have the initiative to do those things.
100%. You're right. It's just like if only we had those relationships. And I think T-Mobile is the largest presence in Kansas City, and they're already in on the game. So
Yeah, because they were helium. So, like
uh,
I said, I mean, there's a lot of good things on the way, man. I
I
might
would
get
get into helium mining. That being said, I've got some speculative shit coins to share since we're talking this direction. So here's obviously the Solana 1 year charts, and you know, I've told a lot of friends and family to buy Solana all year long, and they're all thanking me right now, which is super cool.
shout out.
And I'm
It's always
like,
good
don't,
when you're like when you gotta go back and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a good year. It's a good year.
I know, and I'm like, look, we got 1 more year of a bull run, and then it's gonna pop and slide down again. I don't know where it will land. Just be prepared to take profits on the upside and buy in before like spring, summertime, Like
Yeah.
not financial advice, but the Bitcoin happening will send it to the moon and it will pop and come back to earth because duh.
Because when everybody else can't afford Bitcoin, they're gonna go to the things that they can afford. And when
Right.
NFTs can't be bought on Ethereum because gas fees are out of your mind, you're gonna go to the places like Solana. Possibly you'll see a small run on XRP. Maybe you'll see something on Cardano, but everything else, maybe like I said, ordinals as well. It's a lot of
I'll,
things that it's gonna be a
I'll,
crazy summer,
I'll
man.
show you who I'm paying attention to.
Who you paying attention to? I see.
Mina.
Ooh, Mina.
This is so I had the fortune of ghostwriting for them last year, and
Ooh.
I'll share. And here's the other one. I'll share why I like both of them.
Oh yeah, the Near Protocol. Near Protocol has some dope stuff. I might have to get on there.
Yeah, totally worth buying, holding them. Here's what their 1 year chart looks like. They're up officially, so it's a good buy. Here's their all time. They've got room to grow back. Now, Near, super popular in Europe. It's like basically Solana. I don't know much more beyond that. It's not basically Solana. It's probably closer to like, I don't know, an L2, but it's an L1.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm all about own your data on L1s. It's a lighter, faster kind of Cardano, Polkadot kind of competitor, maybe Tezos. I don't know, but it's popular in Europe. That's the
yeah,
main thing. And a whole bunch of like Shopify-esque company apps are being built on it. So I'm like
yeah,
super bullish because that's obviously the space I want to be in with Playhouse.
yeah.
So here is one of the tokens I'm holding. It's obviously, it's relatively cheap. So, you know,
$4
great layer. Mm-hmm.
and
And
all
it
time
used to
high.
be cheaper. Yeah, it's 4x in the last year if you bought it over the summertime. And then
And
Mina, similar thing, but it's a super lightweight blockchain powered by zero knowledge proofs. I don't understand it that much. The price, relatively speaking, in the last year is also up. Also, it's fairly easily accessible price at $1.49 all time. It's kind of like basically opened high and dumped. But I think it's poised to go this cycle because it was relatively new at the end of last cycle. You see it joined, in June of 2021. So it was in the middle of last bull run that it kind of popped out. And so, I think it had a relatively normal whatever. But I think it's going to go, I don't know if it'll hit $4 again, probably go past it because it's so low priced. And it's been getting a lot of notoriety for how developer friendly it is. So, um,
that's where the best
Solana,
stuff is gonna get built.
these are the three like back-end database scaling blockchains that I believe in. Of course, Bitcoin is a standard and has Lightning, and it's not going anywhere. And Ethereum has all of its L2s, and Solana jokes how it could be one of Ethereum's L2s, and so it probably will always be around, but only because diehards love it.
Yeah.
Solana or Near or Mina or something like that is going to be responsible for the like breakthrough applications this cycle. There's just no one who can technically compete.
That's good. That's always good to get the technical standpoint, because like a lot of times people get caught up on whether it's the utilities and memes and stuff like that, but like Ethereum can only go as far as the technicals. It can only go as far as the gas fees. Like that's not an argument. Like you can have the greatest NFTs on there or the greatest game or whatever it may be, but if the gas fees are astronomical because everybody's trying to play that game or everybody's trying to buy NFTs, or you can't scale. You can't change it the way that you used to be able to fool. It's like nature. And that's why I think Web3 is a great thing, because it's literally an ecosystem to where it's like, if it gets too congested on there, it won't work. Literally. And that's the great thing about you having to constantly innovate. So that's why I like it's so early to the whole space, man. And that's why I think that a lot of people, especially this bull run, we're definitely going to start seeing a lot of investment come back to the Web3 crypto side of things for sure. Definitely excited about that. Shout out to Bonk. And that's another thing too, man. Like, I really just want to, because the main thing is like all you have to do, especially like during the bull run, you just like you stack your stuff, or you build during the bear market, and then now you accept up and coming coins during the bull market. That's basically what I would do as a Web3 company. More or less how I would see it is that you build during the bear market, so that way when everything's going up in profits, you just accept those things during the bull market. You don't spend anything. All you're doing is just accepting it. So your rate as everything else is going up, you're going up. So then now when the bear market comes again and everybody's like, oh my God, I'm selling, you're not really selling. All you have to do is just, for instance, with Playhouses, you're offering services. Well, you're going to pay my services regardless. Rain, sleet, or snow, you're going to need ads. Doesn't change anything. We'll take Solana, we'll take Paper, we'll take Bitcoin, we'll take Ethereum. Well, you don't care if it's up, we don't care if it's down, because at the end of the day, money's money. Money is money. As long as I can transfer it into the thing that I need. That, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy times, to be honest.
Seriously, I totally agree. It's all a joke.
Literally.
So I wanted to show you a new meme coin that AJ put me onto called Dobo, which is Doge Bonk on Sol, which is a anti-bonk coin, basically.
Anti-bonk coin.
And I don't know how to say this any differently because I never understand it that clearly when AJ explains it. But basically, like, he was a part of the OG bonk group over on Binance. And like this meme came out like in 2021, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just like an OG member of this Discord community of memes. And maybe it's Reddit, maybe it's some combination of that. I don't know. It's AJ. AJ is a legend for like just being in the weeds like this. And
hey, yeah. Hell yeah. He like Raymond Reddington in Blacklist.
I love that. Yeah, so basically he runs this meme coin, technically speaking. He runs this one that I'm showing you. And
Really?
the coin came out on December 23rd, basically. And he told me about it on December 23rd. So I bought it then. I think I bought it relatively high, like up here. So, but anyways, long story short is it's up here now.
Holy shit.
And I didn't put life-changing money in there. I put in $33, but now it's $100.
Oh, shit. So it 3x.
But we're still super early, and they're not going to stop like promoting this and like touting it and making it a thing. So I'm just like, hey, if you want to just put in 10, $30 into some stupid shit that's definitely not going to work, but maybe it does work, this is it. But I say that because AJ gives me all the coins that like I'm into, or like not necessarily all the coins that I'm into, but like, I whenever I take his advice, I've hit big, so to speak.
Hey, when you're in there and you know about it, I mean, that's the thing. Is just all you got to do is just You just gotta get a little insider info. It's like being in Congress. It's like being like it's if you knew Nancy Pelosi's phone number and could be like, hey, what's up with that Nvidia stock? You know what I mean? That's basically that. That's what they do. But now it's like the developers are the insiders.
100%. And like, so yeah, no, the developers are the insiders, and the best developers are out there being degens, tweeting it out and putting it on Reddit. And like, if you know, you know.
Exactly.
So, just be close to you got to be close to the news on crypto Twitter, and then you can get in. And speaking of that, I'd say I'm relatively close, but I'm a degree of separation away from where AJ is, because AJ is at the epicenter of these shit coins. I'm always gonna be like, hey, if I can make a 2 to 3x, I'm happy. If it goes bigger than that, great. But like, I'm just looking for 2 to 3x wins here. Like, I'm not greedy.
Yeah.
AJ's like so early. He's like telling me he's hitting 20x, 30x, a shit ton, and he's putting in relatively large bets on them. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, like, one, if I had the money, like, but I guess you make the money once or twice, then you have like free money to play with.
True.
Whatever. And I'm like, I need to spend more time on this, but I can't. I can't.
Bro,
So,
that's my thing too with the trading, and like people be telling me a lot of stuff on like, man, you could do. I'm like, bro, like I gotta focus on what I'm trying to do, because if I don't focus on getting that done, I ain't gonna have no money to even do the other shit that you're talking about.
100%. That being said, I put $200 in, and this is a 10x return in 2 months. So like, there's still money in this. I'm not taking any of it out yet, basically at this point, because like I'm basically still trying to grow this into something more. Plus, I think in the next year, I think it'll 10x one more time.
Yeah.
But then I think I can pay a bunch of bills with it. But I want to share the tokens I'm holding. So one, I can promote them. Two, I can share with other people because, explain why not and why you should be holding them and whatever.
Yes, sir.
So everything in my Phantom wallet is Solana based. So all of these are tokens on Solana.
Yeah.
So Lend, there's Bonk, Radium. So Solend and Radium, both DeFi platforms. Solend lending, Radium is like exchange, but Shadow is one of the ones that has blown up in the last few days, and it's another like data, I guess, data marketplace, data exchange, NFT kind of powered marketplace, helping facilitate data exchanges. Right now, it's I think all financial transaction related, but it's called Shadow Token, and like that was like $50 that went into that originally, and it's turned into like 200. I don't know why this. I need to refresh this again or something. But yeah. So, and then Helium started as a $50 bet. Nosana is a $50 bet. All Art was a $50 bet. The rest of here are $50 bets. Solana Coin's basically gone full circle at this point. I'm probably gonna reload for another one. I took like $200-300 profit on it. And then there's that Dobo. Here's some Playhouse. I can send you some Playhouse, some paper.
Send me some paper.
Oh yeah. Anyways, those are Guac is another meme token though, to be honest. So
shout out to and that's the thing, man. We're in a day and age, man, where it's like all it takes is the right celebrity or a commercial, or maybe you get a deal with Walmart. It takes very little things nowadays for your meme coin to go from nothing to 10x like that, just because a bunch of people want to buy it for pennies on the dollar because they think it's going to do the same thing you think it is going to do.
Yeah, they just believe in the Ponzonomics of it all and the fun of it. And it's just like, it's stupid. It's like we're collectively gambling. We're all agreeing on it. But some people are really making money and a lot of people are losing. But like, it seems like everyone's having fun-ish.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, the real money hasn't even gotten here yet. So that's why I think it's going to be real fun.
Oh, for sure. Solana's popping off early, and it's all thanks to Helium and Bonk.
That's just crazy. But yeah, so for today's episode, we were talking about earlier, shoot, obviously the whole security side of things. And
Mhm.
I think, I mean, personally, I think that's probably going to be one of the biggest industries, personally, is going to be cybersecurity.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know who's the biggest cybersecurity firm currently.
Hmm.
Um, I've never thought about it really. I mean, I don't think you see. I don't know about amongst the cybersecurity world who is the biggest security firm. I
Probably.
guess it's firms,
Are you
correct?
thinking like Norton McAfee, or because like Norton and McAfee are who I tend to think of when I think of like home personal computer cybersecurity software.
Yeah, because that.
But like, Cisco, I guess they do networking. There's a lot of like cybersecurity is in so many different capacities in
Hmm,
many ways. So like,
IBM.
are we talking about network security? Are we talking about hardware security? Are we talking cloud security? Are we talking server security? Are we talking access and permissions? Are we talking user like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a very well. It's kind of like almost like with insurance. It's like you can have pet insurance, you can have health insurance, you can have car insurance, collectible insurance, all that other shit. So, um, I guess in this case, kind of like what we were talking about before, the idea or the concept of some type of cybersecurity firm that strictly functions as a trusted third party, I guess, in this
Defense
case.
mercenary group.
You said what? Like a mercenary group?
Yeah, but a cyber defense mercenary group.
So basically, they more or less kind of like what you were saying is that, kind of like what your friend is kind of building, or the guy that you met is kind of building, is that essentially you want either whether it's AI or this specific firm to watch your wallet for any heinous stuff, more or
More or
less.
less. Right. And then be your multi-sig signer on most transactions that are of a certain threshold.
So basically, I mean, and like I said, I don't want to steal no ideas or anything like that. I don't know what the guy's idea is, but I mean,
Oh,
essentially,
I
you
don't
just.
know the guy. It's just a guy on Twitter. It was a whole thing going around that this guy got hacked. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know how much I trust a cybersecurity guy that got hacked. That being said, I'm like, I want to clarify, I'm not a cybersecurity guy, and I was socially fished for less money in the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Shit, I almost got too.
I'm not, I'm
I was
not,
like
I'm not going to cast the first stone, so to speak.
at all. Like I almost got over the phone because they tried to get me with a coin with my Coinbase thing. And I was like, time out. I was like, I don't even have money on Coinbase. So what are you guys talking about? So then there was just like this whole like I said, the whole scammer kind of thing. But kind of just like what you were saying is like essentially you would basically want either a human led or AI powered firm that focuses in the cybersecurity or insurance of your personal crypto wallet. So essentially, it's like I would sign up for no different from like me insuring my laptop. I don't know what insurance for cybersecurity is every month. I can't remember, but it's like let's say $50 a month, right, to insure my crypto wallet. So I would pay, let's call it XYZ firm, right? $50 a month. And then for that $50 a month, I would be able to do my Web3 stuff, connect to D apps or whatever it is. But in any event that some type of funny business happens, somebody tries to drain my wallet or whatever it is, boom, this goes into effect. That now either, I guess in this case, what you were kind of mentioning, maybe a multi-sig situation comes up. If it's some type of funny situation, maybe they make it to where it's a certain amount that has to get multi-sig through this company. I think that would probably be best, so that way you don't have to do it on every little transaction. You still have that freedom. It's like, all right,
Yep.
if it's $5,000 to buy an NFT or to draw $5,000 out of your account or $10,000. Boom, this multi-sig effect. So this would be basically, so the firm would basically create a smart contract, which you would buy for $50 a month.
Right.
Essentially.
And it basically serves as a filter for all transactions on your wallet above a certain price point, like you're saying.
And this can all be tracked, and it's all going to go through. So again, you already know what we can do. Throw it in the ChatGPT, and we can definitely put this as a Playhouse production. You know what I mean? Because it's right there down the alley that I know you and Matt would definitely go with the whole data and all that stuff. And you know me, I'll spin it as an NFT project, that it could be a dope little thing that you get this. As long as you have the NFT, that means you paid your 50 or 100 or $200 a month to be able to get like the top level security shit. And then maybe similar to like life insurance, it's like for you paying $200 a month, you get almost like an FDIC approved. It's like you get $200,000 in insurance. So it's like getting life insurance, but for your crypto wallet. Literally, that's it. It's like, hey, in the event that your crypto wallet gets taken hostage, we will come in like the Avengers and save the day. I mean, to me, it just sounds like it's pretty simple. It's just like, just sit in the background until something bad happens. And then when something bad happens, you just find out what happened. Either you can get the amount back, or because then now what it would happen is that for the firm, let's say, for instance, we create the business, right? And an attack happens on one of our clients. They get drained for $10,000. As a business, we'd most likely have $10,000 to be able to recuperate their account. Now, on our end, we would now find the hacker, try to get the funds back, figure out how we would get that back. And then now, more than likely, how it usually goes is that we'd employ the hacker. Or on this case, not say employ the hacker, or incentivize the hacker, or whatever it is, that the ways that ransom go in the crypto world, because the crypto world is like the Wild West. Nobody knows how they usually get the money back. But yeah, I think that'd be a very doable project. And the only way for you to get those services is via NFT. Because then now it's like, oh, I can have my Phantom wallet, right? And I can be a straight degen for the cost of $50 a month.
More or less.
Or less, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, I said more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like literally, like I can literally be and then you could just call it the degen tag. Or degen insurance. Ooh, degen insurance, I think would be a good ass fucking one.
Degenerates. Just blending degen insurance together.
Yeah. Because yeah, bro, it's like, and then now all we do is just build a smart contract that would basically be the same for almost everybody. The only difference amongst clients is that all we would do is the amount of insurance that's to that client. So if you don't have a bunch of money, maybe your insurance is like you pay $20 a month. So if you get drained, we'll reimburse you $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So then now it's like, okay, if you pay $50 a month, then all right, we'll cover up to $20,000. $100 a month, $100,000.
Well, now we're just recreating insurance funds and pools, and we'll probably need to get some regulators involved. But 100% game for that.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, with regulators, we'll just explain it to them that it's no different from what you guys are already doing. We're just doing it for every single wallet out there.
Right, and all they'll want is their cut of it, and we'll be good. So
yeah, and we can always negotiate that. And I mean, we're talking about a I would say $1 trillion business in insurance. So I would say because somebody's going to insure wallets, because your wallet is going to be basically like your identity. It's going to be you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, like, and for years, identity fraud's been an issue. It's going to continue to be an issue, and it's going to be a bigger, uh, probably a bigger problem, a more important problem, a more universal problem, a problem that we're going to be equipped to deal with and solve for that we aren't yet, but will be, I'm sure, eventually, because it's just too big of a problem for us not to come up with solutions for. And there are a
yeah,
lot of reasonable solutions that are kind of already available out there that we just have to string together for
yeah,
consumers. Because the biggest problem is a lot of these solutions are not positioned well for consumers.
yeah. And
It's
that's the
just
thing is that like if you just have a tool that says, hey, you know what, you guys understand insurance, and as a Web3 degen, because then basically the commercial would be this: as a Web3 degen, I know I love to click on things that I have no business clicking on, and unfortunately, one day I might meet my maker and meet a hacker that hacks my account. Wouldn't it be great if the funds in my account could get immediately reimbursed upon a smart contract with me just simply setting in a claim with my insurer, which is Degen Insurance? Was it Degen Insurance? Is that what they call it?
degenerates.
Degenerants. They're perfect. Degenerants. Degen Insurance for your Degen decisions. Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you are going to do stupid shit. Why not have insurance for when your stupid shit actually comes to roost? That's
You want to
it.
see what it said?
Let's go. It
All
sounds
right.
like billions, man.
It's the first one, right? Basically, digital asset management software, white glove security operating model. Software filters all transaction for self custody crypto wallet with an AI system. Make sure transactions draw or drain a certain model have to be reviewed by multi-sig, by cybersecurity engineers, protect users from hacking their wallets from gene drain, retaining self-custody, also advising and staking services. I forgot to say insurance, but you can add it in there in a second. It gave a
Mhm.
generic ass outline. I said, awesome, now fill it in with your best first pass suggestions. And so now we've got some actual kind of input from ChatGPT. So the business
Mhm.
concept is secure chain. Obviously, it's degenerates, but it doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So an innovative digital asset management software. Cool. It's what we told it. The goal is to provide robust protection against hacking. Okay, awesome. Crypto enthusiasts and investors who prefer self custody. Great. And nailed the customer market.
Yep.
Um, So like this is the power of ChatGPT right here. It's like obviously we kind of know what the market is, but it lays it out really clear. Crypto enthusiasts and investors, the market trends, increasing cryptocurrency adoption, rising incidence of wallet hacks, growing awareness of cybersecurity. All true.
Yep.
Competition, Ledger, Trezor, BitGo. These are hardware companies. This is how we're different. We're a filter. We could be utilized by them,
My Ledger and Trezor. Oh my god, bro.
right?
I think we just hit a gold mine.
Oh, potentially. I just like,
like, like, for real.
I was like, so many things are great ideas. You just like, but it takes time and money to execute on them. So many of them we just need blinders on. We can just be a good idea machine.
Yeah, we can
So
just again, the main thing is just me and the right person to be like, hey, me and my business partner, we came up with an idea for basically think of life insurance, but for your crypto wallet. What do you mean? Boom. Then now we just have to all we have to do is just have it in our back pocket or the Rolodex, dust some little blow a little dust off on it and be like, yeah, so here's our little guy right here. He can do a little something if you give him a little help.
yep, like everything, we just need some capital. That's
Exactly.
the worst part about this game.
All right, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, business model says monthly annual subscription, transaction fees for staking and advising, and also the insurance premium. Makes
Yep.
sense. Revenue projections, yeah, can't really do that based on user growth size. So right now, a couple 100,000 users if we're talking crypto enthusiasts. Operational plan. Uh, yeah, so it just sounds like we need more engineers. Basically, this is not the most in detail. Probably ask it to expand on different areas we want it to provide more input.
Yeah.
We need to address user onboarding, transaction processing, security monitoring, provision advising, and staking services. So it's just laying out all the things we have to account for and have answers to in terms of our business plan.
Yep.
It's suggesting SEO, social media, partnerships with exchanges and influencers, and attending crypto conferences. All the basics make sense. If you didn't know one of those things, whatever, like now you do. But like, there were probably stuff that you could have thought. Free trials, referrals, tiered subscription models, all things we're actively doing at Playhouse, but makes sense in this use case as well. Risk analysis and mitigation, awesome. Potential risk, technology flaws, sophisticated cyber attacks, changes in cryptocurrency regulations. Mitigation strategy, regular software errors. So this is where the insurance comes in, right? So I'm gonna like have it revise it, see how it changes and addresses things actually with the insurance part of the idea, because that addresses one of the risks here. So it's kind of awesome that the business model addresses one of the risks from my perspective. It's like Amazon style, turning their biggest cost, which was their servers, into one of their biggest products, which is AWS today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like along the same line of that thinking. So financial plan projections, whatever. It's just basically getting back to the marketing operational sales model. Implementation timeline, it thinks a little over basically like 3 to 4 years. Which it's kind of cool that it's estimating an actual timeline. Development 6 months, beta testing 3 months, official launch for a year, scale up 2 years after that. It's probably pretty realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. This is awesome, but I forgot to mention the customers will part of their subscription is going into an insurance pool that is being used to mitigate the loss of funds.
Yeah, I don't know why nobody's doing. You know what? Then again, I'm not saying that. Let me not say no, that no one's doing this. People that understand this haven't made the move to Web3 yet. So people like me and you that can now sit here and throw things at the wall, which now the wall is ChatGPT and can correct us and give us ideas. It's not to say it's unfair, but it's like the opportunity for a lot of people that are just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing the things I'm doing, bro. It's gonna be too late for a lot of you guys because the next Amazon is gonna be built like now.
Yeah, the world's gonna move from here to here in like the next 18 months, and people just cannot fathom how big of a gap that's really gonna be.
Bro, 18 months ago, we didn't have this shit.
No, we did not. That's kind of crazy. Like, unless you were like in a beta influencer stage.
18 months ago, we did not have ChatGPT like how we're sitting here right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I get onto my whole produce matrix project and stuff like that if I don't have ChatGPT. I'm just gonna be 100% honest, because it made so many things that I couldn't like make sense. It made sense faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like diagrams, like shit that I would have had to go to Canva and do, like, bruh, seconds.
Everything is just rapid iteration, because it's cheap and easy to get it to give you the output, and you're like, oh, give me a different, just tweak this.
Bro, my thing is I gotta figure out this whole chips, because that's the next thing, is that chips, like these microchips, are gonna be the new gold.
Oh yeah, well, and the literal materials that go into them, but
we have to figure out a way to make them reusable, though. That's the thing, is that we have to get them to the point where they become, because I think that we need to start using you're saying
biocomputing is what you're talking about.
Yeah, we have to get chips that don't break down as fast as they're breaking down.
Yeah, and I think, once you start going down that rabbit hole, you recognize that the like best computer is literally us, like as living organisms. So
Yeah.
that's ultimately the reality of the of the situation. Whether other people are willing to accept that or believe that yet, I
Hmm.
don't know. Like obviously, like mechanized intelligence has a place in the world, and like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but everything we continue to like discover is like it's really unsustainable to mine all of the materials necessary to produce it. They do break down, they do get worn out, right? They do have storage and faulty issues. We're seeing a lot of people experimenting today with human brain cells being used for storage and computation, which is a whole fucked up ethical situation in itself. But they are reducing both the amount of energy and the time to learning, the storage amount, and the computational speeds. It just blows anything mechanized out of the water, if you can believe that. And so the reality of the situation is that organic materials that are
Better.
self-sustaining organisms are the best form of intelligence. And how does that just not lead full circle back to us? Like, sure, we could enslave these things, right, to be our computers for us, but then we're just talking about the Matrix.
Yeah. And you have a bunch of things.
So,
It's like you start realizing that you're having it do these things. Like for instance, some people will have like Roombas and whatnot. And I'm not getting on people that have Roombas because it's a great invention, but some people look at sweeping and cleaning up as a chore, where some other person looks at it as therapeutic, or it gives them time to think. And those different type of things, or those different type of practices, that maybe your great idea comes from that moment that you're sweeping, or maybe you put your stuff in the dishwasher all the time, and maybe you would have got your greatest idea, or an epiphany would have happened if you would have been washing the dishes by hand. And so it's those different type of things that you just being in the tech space, but also being knowledgeable of the fact that at the end of the day, like, nobody can argue. I don't think I think it's pretty stupid for anybody to really try to argue if you think that there's any tech on the planet that is as amazing, just the way it's put together, as the human brain is. Like, nothing can compete with the complexity, the mysteries, the everything about it is just so out of this box that I don't care what Chat GPT is great, but nothing even the mind of the most simple person on the planet Earth is more complex than the most AGI artificial intelligence on the planet. It's crazy to think about, and that's what, like, a lot of people get caught up in this whole, oh my god, AI is going to take over and all these other things. And it's like, I kind of hear you, but at the same time too, what you're really failing to understand is that the human is the most innovative creation that the universe has ever, until another creature comes and shows us different. But like, we stand completely, literally stand differently from everything else on the planet.
what is, and like, I don't want to over exaggerate that on some level, like, because we're building civilizations, we're building technology, and these things are on a level that is clearly different than the rest of life on Earth. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of evidence to also suggest, right, as we move further and further in our technological development, that the most sophisticated forms of technologies are these biological organic systems. And so it kind of becomes confusing almost, because how can we distinguish engineered biological systems and organized systems that we might be creating in the future from the naturally occurring organic ones? And who's to say that that they weren't created sometime in the past, or they didn't create themselves, or someone else didn't create them, so to speak, once you realize what this is. And then you also look at something like fungi, for example, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can exist in space, and it can consume almost any material, including inorganic matter, and thrive and live off of it somehow.
That's
And
nuts.
yeah, yeah. And then like you think about the ocean and how intelligent most of the life that is there, and how little of it we've actually explored, and how, anyways, when we think of aliens, we look to the sky, but we should really look to the seas, only from the sense of the fact that most of the DNA of those animals is vastly different than the DNA of terrestrial life,
Yeah.
which, you know, that is as close to alien as we're going to get in our lifetime, probably, unless
Exactly.
the fake alien attack happens and there are real aliens that are somehow associated with it, you know.
Exactly. And like what you said, it's just like we have gotten to the point where we think we know so much a lot, and we can definitely get back onto the project, but it's like we've gotten to the point where we think we know so much. Is that why is it so far-fetched to say that instead of thinking that aliens are coming, that maybe that fish that can glow in the bottom of the ocean and survive at inhuman in elements is more alien than anything that we put into any scientific, and it's literally here, like literally can survive in the bottom of a volcano with no eyes and no light, no food, and has been doing it for thousands of years. And we think that that's not alien. That shit is down there. Like, we keep on going to Mars. Like, Mars has proven there's no life there yet, or whatever Elon and them are trying to do. There is literally life at the depths of the ocean, which is worse environment than the shit that's in space. Like, the bottom of the ocean is worse as an environment than outer space.
100%. I think billionaires are stupid and lame for going to space instead of going to explore the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, wow, you wuss. You don't want to tackle the real challenge of our time, of our days. If we can survive in the oceans, we can survive in space. But go prove we can get down there first. No one's trying except for Tin Can Boy,
And
who,
maybe
their tongue exploded.
and maybe is this. There's the whole conspiracy that they do know that shit is down there, and that's the reason why we haven't explored, was it 95% of the ocean floor, because of the fact that if we start going, and it's just like if you knock at the door long enough, something gonna open the door. Like the giant squid, bro. Come on, man. A squid that's the size of a school bus. We're not talking about like fake. We're not talking about Loch Ness Monster. We're talking about legitly has been seen.
Or
What?
Megalodon, or okay, so let's wait to walk it back for a second. Uh, Underestimating how intelligent octopi are.
Oh,
Those are alien motherfuckers. Next thing is, you don't even have to be that alien to be intelligent. Like, there's clearly the orcas that are sinking boats in a coordinated attempt. That's intelligent life. You can't fucking tell me that's not. Now, even beyond that, it's dolphins. It's illegal to train a dolphin to communicate with humans. Why? Why is it illegal for humans to communicate with dolphins? We've trained them in the past. We learned something. A literal dolphin committed suicide after being able to communicate with humans.
what?
Yep, and now it's illegal to communicate with dolphins. So, like, there are so many things out there that are exactly to what you're talking about. And then you think about the conspiracies and how they seep into pop culture. Like, I think of the Rick and Morty episode with Mr. Nimbus or whatever. Like
Yeah.
the like, oh, you don't know about the sea people that like live and like inhabit half the earth. He's my counterpart. He's the Rick of the sea people. And
Yeah.
then like even stay like if you go Star Wars, bro, like Star Wars Episode 1, are they
Yep.
not telling us that like there's a planet where you've got this ruling human class and this like super more advanced underground world of like aquatic life people, and like they're more advanced and live isolation and don't want to be in touch with the surface people, and then their surface people are this like, you know, galactic empire of corporation bureaucracy bullshit. And
Yep,
it's like, holy shit, how much of that is, you know, them just speculating on telling us the fucking truth, maybe?
bro. One of these days, and again, that's Aquaman. That's the same. That's the same concept. It's like, bro, it's
Hey,
Black
really?
Panther. The most recent Black Panther. Same concept with Namor and coming. There's gonna be a day where one of these motherfuckers is gonna walk out. It's gonna be some dude with gills coming out of the water, and he's gonna be like, you know what? Hey man, we're tired of you. You killed my little bro who's a sea turtle, and he just lost his grandma and his mother last week because you guys didn't want to throw away your trash. Enough is enough. All out war. And we thought this whole time that war was going to come from the sky. And it's just like we're sitting here saying, don't look up. We need to look down. We need to look way down because
Swimming for it.
that's what we need to ask ChatGPT is, would it be possible for a human society to thrive, to even live in the ocean? Because, bro, I've seen it enough. It's like water. How can we sit here and say that it's not possible when water is literally the essence of all life? So we're basically saying that things. So we think that there's going to be life on planets that don't have water, but then right here in water, we think that shit can't live in there. They may not be people, but it might be something a little more advanced. Like ChatGPT.
Okay. ChatGPT hates conspiracy theory stuff, so you have to like, you know, be extra leading and specific when you're going to type it in. So basically, I said, imagine and speculate for a moment. You know, really leaning into the like the context. What would a thriving sea people, mer people look like? And weave in flood theory and wet ape theory into your description. This is a creative exercise. Now, I'm referencing two specific conspiracy theories. One, the biblical flood narrative that is also connected to the flooding of Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
And then wet ape theory, which is the idea that another part of the human species at one point, because of the flood, developed genetically to breathe and live in the water, and also may have also potentially re-evolved on land at some other separate point in time and intermingled with the rest of the human species. So I think it'd be really interesting to see what ChatGPT has to do with those two seed concepts on what it thinks it would take.
Let's see. I feel like this will be a good way to wrap up the episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is going to be really interesting. It says they're matriarchal, which is the first thing, which is interesting to note because that is what that I don't know what you know about bonobos and chimpanzees, but I got another comment there in a second.
Go ahead. Drop it on me.
All right. So basically, researchers and academics love to compare us to chimpanzees because chimpanzees are patriarchal, and they're basically show that like primates have to be alpha male driven because they're hierarchical societies in a patriarchal environment. But we are probably equally, if not more so, closely related to bonobos, which are a matriarchal society that basically only sexually include men that are empathetic and caring and don't start violence and fights unless the women ask them to defend them, basically.
So nice monkeys.
Right. Basically, yeah. Basically nice monkeys. Right. But bonobos are a society of nice monkeys and chimpanzees are not. But we're probably equally as closely related to both, and they love to compare us to chimpanzees. But bonobos would be a more aspirational and better comparison because it allows us to live up to the higher animal instincts that are better for us rather than the worst animal instincts that are bad for us, you know? allowing us to identify with positive traits from, whatever. If you happen to believe in evolution, like I'm not trying to push one thing or another,
Yeah.
but like it's just giving some people something more positive to see.
No, it's just like I said, I mean, it can go into like 20 different type of things because of the simple fact that it's like until we get to the point where well, I don't think we get into it in our lifetime, but like we won't know what happened in the past to how we got to the point where we're at, where naked monkeys more or less rule the planet. Like this life thing is just so crazy, man. But I'll let you get into it. Good.
No, I agree. It's almost a loss for words most of the time. It's a mystical, bizarre, fucked up experience. I'm happy to be here. I can't wait till it's over, but don't make it go too quickly.
Hey, words right out of my mouth. Make it a t-shirt for sure.
All right. So basically, this is the story it wants to lay for how this world would come to be or exist or whatever. So it says, imagine a thriving community of mer people evolved through an intriguing blend of the wet ape theory and flood theory. Okay, thanks for describing those. These aquatic beings showcase an extraordinary adaptation to life wholly submerged in the water. Physically, they possess sleek hydrodynamic bodies with skin that's both smooth and resilient, adapted to withstand varying pressures and temperatures of the deep sea. Their limbs are a harmonious blend of human and aquatic creature traits, webbed fingers and toes for efficient swimming, yet dexterous enough for intricate tasks. Their
Sounds like the
faces
new Avatar.
retain human-like features, but are adapted for aquatic life. Larger, more pronounced eyes, adapted to the dim light of water environments, and gill-like structures seamlessly integrated with their necks, allowing them to breathe underwater. Hair is minimal or entirely absent, replaced by a thin layer of protective, smooth scales that aid in streamlined movement through the water.
No point of hair.
Yeah. Culturally, these mer people have developed a rich, complex society deeply intertwined with the ocean's ecosystems. They build their homes in harmony with coral reefs and underwater caves, showing advanced understanding of marine engineering. Their diet consists primarily of seafood. They've developed sustainable fishing practices that ensure the health of their underwater world. Their society is likely matriarchal, with a deep reverence for the ocean as a life-giving force. Mythology and lore are rich with tales of the great flood that shaped their existence, and they have profound understanding of the delicate balance between land and sea. Their balance is reflected in their art, music, and storytelling, which are as fluid and dynamic as the waters they inhabit. In the speculative version, mer people are representing a fascinating amalgamation of human intelligence. Okay. Explore and delve deeper into the origin myths that move them off land and into the sea. So this is what we were trying to get at anyways.
That's some good shit.
Oh yeah, I was enjoying it for sure.
No, they wrote some good shit. I was like, damn, that sounds like the new Avatar that they just came out with.
Here's our next movie project, man. Like we should be a whole ass fucking writing studio. Like it's so frustrating that we aren't sitting on a giant trove of money that we could just deploy on all of these ideas that we
literally just come up with stuff, walk into the office on the next day and be like, all right, creative team, this is what we're doing. We need animations. We need this. See you guys in about 2 weeks. We're going on vacation. We've done our work.
Yeah. Seriously, Netflix and HBO should just hire us. Like one of them, Hulu, somebody, Disney,
Peacock. We don't care. We'll the shows that we're gonna come with, it's gonna bring you mainstream adoption.
100%, and it's gonna be relatively cheap to produce and high quality. It's great trade-offs here, guys.
Come on, man. You can't get this anywhere else, man. Disney need to hit us up.
Now, to seriously close us out, but like, here's the backstory even further. Because in the rich tapestry of origin myths for these mer people, a key narrative centers around a cataclysmic event that forever altered the course of their evolution and existence. This event, often referred to as the Great Submersion, is a pivotal moment in their lore, intertwining the flood and wet ape theory. So, starts with the Great Submersion. According to their myths, there once existed an ancient civilization of land-dwelling beings, not unlike early humans. This civilization was advanced in its understanding of nature and the cosmos, but was ultimately unprepared for a massive, sudden climactic shift. Legends speak of torrential rains lasting for an unfathomable period, causing seas to swell and land to vanish beneath the waves. This event is often depicted in their art as a massive deluge, with powerful beings, either gods or natural forces, unleashing the waters.
Oh.
Faced with this new watery world, these ancient people had to adapt or perish. Drawing from the wet ape theory, the myth describes a gradual but profound transformation. Over generations, those who could swim better, dive deeper, and hold their breath longer were more likely to survive and thrive. These abilities became crucial for finding food, escaping predators, and eventually for social interactions and mating. Natural selection favored traits that supported aquatic life. Webbed extremities, more efficient respiratory systems utilize oxygen better, and vision adapted to the underwater environment. As centuries passed, these changes became more pronounced, leading to the emergence of the first true mer people. This transformation is often celebrated in their culture as the time of awakening and enlightenment, where they gain not only physical adaptations, but also a deeper connection to the sea. They see themselves as children of both land and water, holding ancient knowledge from their terrestrial ancestors and the secrets of the deep sea. In their society, the story of the Great Submersion is not just a tale of survival, but also a moral compass. It teaches them the importance of adaptability, respect for the natural world, and the understanding that change, though sometimes catastrophic, can lead to new beginnings. Festivals, rituals, and rites of passage often commemorate this epic transformation, celebrating their dual heritage and the profound bond they share with the sea. Thus, the origins of the Mer people serve as both a historical record and a moral guide, illustrating their journey from land dwellers to masters of the sea and underscoring their unique place in the tapestry of life.
Bro, this is how churches are started. Because this, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If you put this in a well put together leather bound book, somebody would be like, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. They're like, bro, like,
you want to start a cult?
Bro, the Mer people are coming. Yeah.
We can start Aquacoin.
Bro, yeah, bro. Aquacoin, man. Because like I said, it's like just reading it, man. The way it puts it together, and like no missteps. It's like you wouldn't. We're gonna get to the point where it's gonna be like, what is not possible? Like you literally threw two conspiracy theories, put them together, and it made it make sense. Like I would literally be like, you know what? Now I see why people believe in mer people. Like you could probably do the same thing with the whole concept of lizards taking over the Congress. Like you could do this with anything at this point, man. It's like crazy times, man. It's crazy times, man.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna take this a step further because why the fuck not? Because we're having so much fun with it. We're doing world building exercises. This is what a DAO is. This is what fucking this is what this is. Anyways, here we go. I basically said now write about their prophecy of merging back with the people on land and what the future event and what would lead up to that, akin to a book of Revelations.
So basically, like the ending. The big climax to the whole kit. The thing that most people don't usually get in normal religion.
This is what Aquaman builds to.
Right?
We did the first movie. This is the final movie. We could just write a bunch of movies for in between now.
Exactly. We know where it's going.
Then we plant all the breadcrumb trails that lead to this final ending in those first movies, of course.
That's it. That's it.
Let's skip to the end for the fun of it.
Oh my goodness. This is yeah.
All right. This is gonna be epic to close on, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta bring the screen close because this stuff got me hooked, bro. This is crazy.
I love that we're doing this. Okay. So it says, in the deeply woven mythology of the Mer people, there exists a powerful prophecy known as the Convergence. This prophecy foretells a future era where the Mer people and land dwellers will once again unite, merging their worlds and destinies in a pivotal moment of cosmic significance. This prophecy, much like a book of Revelations, is rich with symbolism, omens, and a sequence of events leading up to the grand convergence, the awakening of the Sentinel. The first sign of the convergence is the awakening of an ancient entity known as the Sentinel, a colossal being that slumbers in the deepest trench of the ocean. Mariana's Trench, in case you didn't know. It says that the Sentinel is both guardian and herald. Its awakening marked by a unique celestial alignment and rare phenomenon where the sea glows with ethereal light for 7 nights. This literally sounds like Cthulhu, if you've ever heard of Cthulhu. Anyways, the Song of the Deep. Following the awakening, a mysterious melody known as the Song of the Deep begins to resonate across the oceans. This melody is imbued with a powerful magic that can be heard by both Mer people and land dwellers. The song is said to stir ancient memories and awaken latent abilities in certain individuals, leading to a shared understanding and communication between the two worlds. Now, I'm just picturing basically like the background music to Pirates of the Caribbean, really, when they're talking about the sound.
Bro, what?
Okay. All right. The blending of waters. What?
People getting superpowers and shit. What the fuck?
Of course they are. It's mythology. It's mystical lore. And like reality is really a lot more than it seems like. It's way more possible than I think we believe. Like
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
no. Finish what you were saying, then I'll share my 2 cents.
No, I'm at a loss for words at this amazing story. Like, this is like a, this is a great. Series.
You know how everyone always talks about human beings are basically great batteries for like people in like the Matrix or whatever?
Yeah.
It's because like think of the heart. The heart is both a mechanical pump, but it's an electrical organ. It works with electrical conductivity. Your body produces electromagnetic radiation. You produce an electrical signal we can measure and read. That's what the whole Neuralink bullshit's about, is reading your mind, reading your brainwaves, reading the energy you radiate. They're literally trying to read your vibes, bro. It's literally vibes. Everything is vibes for real, and we can measure vibes. They're electromagnetic frequencies.
That's why certain music can make you feel good or not.
It even crazier than that. Like, you can get way more specific, like transmitting personalized messages through signal.
Oh shit.
It's crazy. Like, AI can now manipulate signals to send you, Rich, specifically a message out of the noise you and I both hear.
But we're getting into crazy times.
Seriously. Anyways, but long story short is, a lot of people believe the superpowers that people have are like telepathy and like kinetic powers and stuff. They're all just like, we're all like basically
we're one frequency away from getting our superpowers, basically.
Yeah, but what's his name? Static Shock. We're all basically Static Shock. We're all Static Shock.
True. Because you got to think, it's like, right now, the reason why we can't read each other's brains is because we're not on the same magnetic field.
I think it's even more basic than that. I think like an athlete, we just haven't trained ourselves in the skill set. We don't know what that feels like, and we can train and develop those skill sets. Now, so like sports, some people have a more natural talent for accessing that part of ourselves and are more adept and skilled, and also unknowingly in some capacity have practiced and pushed it further as a result. But I think it's something literally everyone can do. You know
me, man. I'm a superhero. I'm a superhero, avid watcher, reader, all that stuff, man. I'm waiting for my superpower. I just hope I don't get something lame. That's my main thing.
I think the reality is we all just basically have the same superpower, and it's whether or not we want to like start training ourselves to use it that we start getting access to it. Like, because I think there's different capacities or facets to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like you can move stuff with your energy, you can read stuff and predict stuff with your energy, or you can see stuff with your energy.
Yeah.
But like those are the super fucking powers, and you probably have some blend of it.
Shoot, what we're doing right now is to some people a superpower. Some people feel like creativity to be able to pull nothing out of something. That's a superpower if you really think about it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Anyways, the way that this story wraps up after the Song of the Deep, it says the blending of waters. As the prophecy unfolds, the barriers between land and sea start to diminish. Great rivers and oceans begin to form new pathways, and mythical underwater passages open, allowing safe passage for both merpeople and humans. This period is known as the blending of waters, symbolizing the eroding barriers between the two civilizations. During this time, special individuals from both worlds, known as ambassadors, emerge. These beings are gifted with the ability to thrive both in water and on land, serving as bridges between the two civilizations. They possess deep wisdom and understanding of both cultures and play a crucial role in fostering cooperation and harmony. The culmination of the convergence is the Great Gathering, a monumental event where leaders, scholars, and citizens of both worlds meet. This gathering is marked by grand celebrations, exchange of knowledge and technology, the forging new alliances. It is a time of peace, prosperity, and unity, where the combined strengths of both civilizations lead to a golden age. The new world, post-convergence, the prophecy speaks of a transformed world where the distinction between land and sea is blurred. Society is thriving through mutual cooperation, shared resource knowledge. This era is characterized by both significant advances, blah, blah, blah. I think we would probably rewrite this with probably more of a struggle.
Yeah.
Because this is like imagining a very harmonized, sort
That
of
shit ain't
peaceful
happening.
utopian transition. Unlikely.
Very unlikely. Especially if worse is if they have better technology than us. We're for sure going to take it as a threat.
And they for sure are going to have better technology than us because they're literally humans that evolved to thrive underwater.
So you had to have better tech.
Yeah, and you had to get there faster, I assume.
Yep. Because your environment was trash. So compared to oxygen, where it's just like, okay, you can thrive and not have to really worry about it. Now you have to be like, oh shit, how do I not have to hold my breath for 2 hours? See, this is how you end up down a ChatGPT rabbit hole, ladies and gents. Because the creativity.
We'll just end up struggling writing a literal story right now, wasting time just doing this anyways, because it's like, why not? But it's like, anyways.
It just, and like I said, it's in seconds, man. Like, think about you would have to write all this shit by hand or type it.
You'd have to think of it. Like, I can riff off of most of this stuff and I can seed great ideas, but I wouldn't think of all of the details of all of this. I can improve and work with it, which is great. I just want, like, here's the gist. You filled in the details. Now I can take those details and expand upon them and take them where I want to go with it, which is like, that's the give and take that makes this so powerful.
Yeah, bro. This shit just makes.
All right.
I'm just glad.
In the actual send-off this time.
All right.
In a more realistic interpretation of the Mer people's prophecy, the convergence, the transition towards unity with land dwellers would be far from smooth. This more turbulent vision acknowledges the complexity of merging two distinct civilizations, each with its own culture, history, and way of life. The prophecy would still hold the promise of a united future. The path to it would be fraught with challenges and conflicts. Initial resistance and fear. The first major obstacle would be fear and skepticism from both sides. The Mer people, long isolated from land dwellers, might view them as potential threats to their way of life and the balance of the ocean. Similarly, humans from their history of fearing the unknown might react with hostility or attempt to exploit the Mer people. Capitalism.
Yeah.
This mutual distrust would lead to tensions and conflicts, both political and cultural. As the two worlds begin to interact, the environmental impact of human activities on the ocean becomes a significant point of contention. The Mer people, deeply connected to the sea and its ecosystems, would be alarmed at the pollution and exploitation of marine resources. This could lead to confrontations as they demand more responsible and sustainable practices from the land dwellers. The merging of societies would inevitably bring cultural clashes. Differences in social norms, language, and lifestyle could lead to misunderstandings and resentment. The challenge could be to find common ground and mutual respect amid these differences. The prophecy might also hint at power struggles both within and between the civilizations. There could be factions among the Mer people opposing the convergence, viewing it as a loss of their identity and autonomy. Similarly, on land, there might be a political and economic forces resistant to the changes and the sharing of knowledge and resource. In this turbulent scenario, the ambassadors become crucial mediators. Their role would be incredibly challenging as they navigate the intricacies of diplomacy, advocacy, and conflict resolution. They would need to work tirelessly to build trust, negotiate. Despite these struggles, the prophecy still holds a vision of eventual path, blah, 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 ultimate conversions, and the realistic scenario would be hard won harmony achieved after years, perhaps generations of effort. It would be a testament. Yeah. So it's not exactly the best prophecy kind of one compared to the like four story it put in. Like the pre-story, fantastic. The future story, we
Yeah,
need to keep working on.
yeah, exactly. Like I said, and that's the type of things that you keep on tweaking with it, and you'll sit down and mess with it a little bit, or just take the basic idea and just give it to a copywriter and be like, "Hey, give me a couple ideas with this concept. Play with
Mhm.
this idea, and then do give me this storyline and stuff like that, or following a specific character." And that's it's. I mean, for us, I mean, we talk about it all the time, but it's like to be this ahead in a space that like most people just kind of scoff at, or just like, I don't really care about it. I don't need to know about it. I'll just keep doing my same old job and nothing's gonna change. Yeah, it did before, but now you literally have something that's just as smart as you and does it just not to say just as fast, 10 times maybe 100 times faster than you, and it's going to disrupt everything that we do. The internet came around, but it didn't. It disrupted things, but like this is like completely different, like completely
Yeah.
different.
And it's like you and I, we're just like we come from different backgrounds in so many different ways. And it's like, yo, we're just having fun writing stories together on the internet. And it's like we can use this to do whatever we want. This is just one of the things we keep coming back to doing because it's fun. And
Exactly,
that's the point of most of this is like, where the fun is where the future is.
exactly, exactly. Except for where when you have ChatGPT write the feature and it's kind of boring.
Sure, fair enough.
But yeah,
Uh,
man. But another great episode, man. Shoot, as always, like I said, I mean, you got your Web3 shit coins, from earlier, obviously not financial advice. Put in what you're willing to lose as always, but at the same
they're
time
just
too,
lottery
just
tickets.
that's it, man. That's all it is. At the end of the day, you're just putting in a small little bet. See if it goes up, as Connor said. If it goes 2x, cool. If I lose it all, cool. Whatever. Those are the two sides of the coin. That's really what you should be looking at. Did I win or did I possibly lose? Just be realistic. And then obviously with the AI stuff, man, like I said, ChatGPT being able to put together whatever concept or idea you may have, just word vomit. It doesn't even have to be spelt right. The shit will fix it. Like,
Exactly.
you don't have to understand English. It will change it for you. Like, we're in a day and age where people's success now is only at the end of the amount of excuses that they're willing to give.
If you've ever been in the position where I feel like I have a great idea, but I don't know how to tell it to smart people because I don't know how to make it sound smart, use ChatGPT.
Yeah,
ChatGPT will know how to take your jumbled idea and make it sound like the way smart people need to hear it. And then you can start to have the conversations you want to have. And not to say that you're not a smart person by any means at all. You definitely are to have the idea in the first place. It's just obviously so many tools and things that exist as barriers, I think, for a lot of people who have great ideas is language, is grammar skills. That is definitely a basis of privilege, and ChatGPT can help break that down because it can do the heavy lifting of making sure that you sound how you need to sound when you know you're going to work just as hard as anyone else and you have a great idea. You just need it presented the right way. That's when you use ChatGPT. It'll save you money, save you time. It's the best friend in those moments.
Yep. And especially in the day and age where, as two entrepreneurs and founders and people that are just trying to gain that ability to just do what you want in life, this thing allows you to be able to at least put the plan together to see if that's possible. That's the main thing.
Mhm.
If it seems too hard, go back to what you're doing. You don't have to jump off the porch like me and Connor. You don't. You can be able to be like, hey, how long would it take to scale to $1 million business? 6, 12, 18 months. If that's too long for you, then you can keep going back to your job. At least you found out. That's the thing. You can at least get a plan.
Exactly, and that's if you're full time. Sometimes the best option for most people is to start it on the side while you have a stable job, and then you reach a point where you can quit and do it full time. And
Yep.
that is ideal. And when that point comes for you is usually when you can't do both at the same time, and there's enough money in that side hustle that you're interested to see what doing it full time could do for you. That's
Exactly.
when you know it's go time.
I think that's probably one of the best descriptions of when to possibly get into the entrepreneur side of things. If you're doing the side hustle, not to say you don't call yourself an entrepreneur, but you're really just doing a side hustle. You're making a little more money on the side, which is no problem to that. But when you get full blown into it, and like I said, your livelihood is bet on that, that's when you really enter that wild called entrepreneurship. And like I said, it's I feel like probably the best time in human history to do it because of technology and the ability to, have a whole team of people right there at your fingertips. You couldn't
And
do
and I
that.
don't want to and I don't want to undermine the side hustlers, not necessarily call them entrepreneurs. They're definitely different than full-time entrepreneurs, but it's generally that's the way to get started. That's the way to make it accessible is as a side hustle.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, you know.
yeah. And like I said, man, it's still again very much early to all this stuff, man. Like you said, the AGI stuff, it's a little bit away. If it does come around, guess what? You got Jarvis right there. They're gonna find a way to be able to allow you to buy it for X amount a month. They're not gonna keep it to themselves. They're gonna sell it to everybody because that's the only way you can make money. You can't make money keeping things to yourself.
It's true. That being said, they're struggling to make money on it effectively, and they're making it dumber as a result. So that's a Chat GPT thing.
Yep. And see, once again, capitalism doing what it does best and stifling innovation, right? Stifling
Yeah.
innovation. But we won't hold you guys too much longer. Appreciate you guys coming along again. And until next time, you, me, Chat GPT. We out this thing, man.
Peace. Nice.